Greetings, superb people. This is Lanita Superb, and today is April the 2nd, and it's also the 9th day of the water fasting that I am currently, I guess you would say, enduring, or that I'm experiencing. There's a good word. Yes, so it's the 9th day that I am experiencing the water fasting, and it is also a day for me to take a rest. Now, the water fasting, it's a cleanse, and basically I decided to do this because I am extremely disciplined and I have a really strict diet, and a lot of my friends and people that know me in the past couple of years are always, making jokes and making fun of me about how strict I am with the way I've been eating. So, um, no processed foods. I literally make everything from scratch. I only purchase from organic or at the farmer's market. And if I do have to get something that's not available in those sources, it's going to be in its raw form. So I don't buy anything out of a box that's been pre-manufactured or manufactured in a corporate building type place with a bunch of preservatives and chemicals and such. So, um, so most of my days I have actually spent making my food, and that's actually been part of the challenge now because for me, making the food is part of my creativity. I'm like a chef, I didn't go to culinary school, but considering that I spend a lot of time studying the food and how to prepare the food, which foods have certain nutrients, and then of course with the gardening, how to grow the food, and then being able to supply the proper environment like the soil and the temperature for the plants, that has been a big part of my lifestyle. So considering right now that I'm not actually able to do any of that creative stuff that I had been doing, the challenge for me right now is to figure out what else I can do to keep my creative juices flowing. So today, I'm actually taking some time away from the internet and posting and everything. This is going to be a pretty short video today, but I wanted to give you an update on how I feel. I actually, let's see, it's a little bit different than it was yesterday. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's almost like I can feel that if there's things inside parasites, I can feel that they're wanting to go, and at the same time I'm also dealing with my own self, which is probably the connection to them trying to tempt me into eating. But I know that I am able to do this. So I mean, I've made it this far. It's 9 days. I've got, some people say, oh, it's even 6 days to go, right? 6 days, 5 days, whatever it is, it's going to be next Monday at noon. That's my goal. I don't even count it as days. So in that time span, or that time frame, excuse me, that time frame, I am seeking to keep myself busy because I still enjoy watching videos and things about food. It doesn't bother me to look at stuff where they're talking about food and recipes. Like I was just looking online at at a website that was talking about different recipes, and that's because it's giving me ideas about what I can do when I'm ready to eat again, and how I'm going to actually modify these recipes so that they fit my requirements, which is what I've been doing this whole time. So I'm not pressured into eating meat or sugars and things like that just by watching it. And a lot of people have a hard time believing that, but I don't have it. I watched the other day, I was watching diners, drive-ins, and dives because I needed something to keep my mind occupied while I was in the process of doing my enemas. So while I was laying around and rolling and twisting and shaking and stuff, waiting for the liquid to soften and do its thing, I watched that, and then it gave me a lot of ideas, because the thing is all I have to do with any recipe is eliminate or substitute it for something else that fits my criteria. So it's not difficult for me to do that. And like I said, I've been doing this for over 5 years now, modifying recipes and making alterations and substituting out things for other stuff that I have available, like instead of flour, use coconut flour or almond flour. And it's not quite the same, but that's part of the challenge in you figuring out what it is that you can do to either make it bind the way you want or to make it taste a certain way. Like, for instance, I'm big on herbs, obviously, SupHerb blends. So a lot of the recipes that I make, the importance is not about the actual main ingredients. It's actually about the herbs and the flavor. And that's what's actually doing a lot of the stimulation in the brain, because people who get food out of boxes and fast food and prepackaged items, your brain is not being stimulated by the herbs in the food. Your brain's being stimulated by the chemicals that they put in the food called preservatives, which do a mind twist on your brain to make you think that the food is good. And so that's why, like MSG, that's why people tend to go back to certain places to eat. It's not that the food tastes good, it's the chemicals in the food that makes your brain think that it tastes good. So when you begin to eliminate those preservatives and chemicals and all those additives and alleged, enhancing ingredients and stuff that they put in in the food, you'll see that you really weren't tasting anything. There's no taste in those foods. There's no flavor. Well, they got natural flavor, but I'm not going to talk about what natural flavors is right now. A lot of people get mad at me when I explain to them what it is, but hey, like I always say, go ahead and do your research. You don't have to believe me. Like when you come across some information that's starting to become consistent over several different sources, yeah, I'm going to say that's probably some truth behind it. But as I always say, you got to have the experience for yourself. And the only way you're going to experience it, once again, is to stop eating that food. If you continue to eat it, then you're just going to continue to eat it. You're never going to find out the difference. So that's a big part of this. And just like me with this water fast, I keep telling myself, you have to do this the full 14 days, because that's the only way you're going to find out how this experience is going to affect your body. So there's no reason for me to fall off the wagon or whatever, because I've already put it in my mind that I'm doing 14 days and I'm going to make it to 14 days. So in the process, it's just a matter of me keeping myself focused and finding things to do, because I've been really bored. It's just like, it's not even that I want to eat food. Like I said, my creative side, I've done a lot of creativity with creating my meals. That's been a big part of my life, is making, you use your hands and you get to doing things and, chopping stuff and then putting together different recipes and, doing all that kind of thing. And of course, I can't exactly do that at this moment, because when you're cooking, you need to taste the stuff. So because I can't actually taste anything, it's like, okay, well, so what do I do now? And even working out in the garden has been a bit of a challenge, because that's kind of more strenuous work. And the idea with fasting is you also need to let your body rest because it's doing a lot of repairing. So you don't want to overwhelm your system with doing a lot of extra work. Now, I did get out in the garden yesterday, and I actually, it was a beautiful day, and the sun was out. It was a perfect temperature, just the right amount of wind blowing, the right miles per hour. You know, it wasn't too windy, and I was actually able to put in some more seeds, some beets and some parsnips, and what else did I put? A few other things. I put out some sunflower seeds and a couple other things, but I'm going to let all that go on its own. And in the greenhouse, I made a couple of transitions. I put the Swiss chard outside, and that gave me space to actually put some pumpkin seed, which I didn't do it on purpose. I opened up a pumpkin a while back, and the seeds were already sprouting inside the pumpkin, so I just stuck them in the soil, and they started to grow. So it's just 3 of them, no, not a lot, but I decided to put those in the greenhouse because they'll be more protected from from the outside sources. Excuse me, the outside sources, and the chard doesn't mind being out in the cooler weather, so I put those outside, and then put the pumpkin in their place, and also I made some better arrangements for the red kale so that it can grow bigger, of course. So it's interesting because I usually harvest the kale maybe twice a week normally so I can, to eat it. And this week and last week, because I'm not harvesting, there's going to be a lot of red kale for me to consume. So obviously that's going to be a part of my first meal, is some kale. And I'm excited about it because I remember how tasty it is. And, it's always tastes much better when you grow it yourself. So not today, maybe not tomorrow, possibly Thursday, I'm actually going to take some time and begin deciding on what I'm going to have to eat next Monday. I didn't want to start too early because it might get me a little anxious about eating soon. And so I decided to try and wait as long as possible before I actually go ahead and put together my meal. So like I said, I got a couple of days to think about this. And usually all the other times I've done fasting, usually I would have have some spinach and I don't remember what else, but some other vegetables and things for my first meal, known as the break fast. So this time I'm going to actually have the kale and something else. But like I said, I'm working on not looking into doing that just yet. And that's mainly because, like I said, I don't want to jump the gun. Not that I'm going to start eating something, because I actually don't have any food in the refrigerator. And I purposely did that. I've got a couple of stalks of celery, and there's some farm fresh eggs from a local, from some local chickens that are free range. But if I actually need to eat, I can go ahead and have some kale or some celery. But the idea is there's really nothing else for me to eat. I haven't soaked any beans. I don't have any nuts ready, prepared, because I have to soak all that. So I purposely did not purchase any food. There's nothing for me to eat. I have tea. I can drink some tea. And I have a lot of other herbs and stuff that I could drink, but I don't have any actual solid food at the moment. So that's part of the reason that I'm not too concerned about eating anything. The worst thing to happen is, oh, I ate some kale, that's great, kale. So that's the least of my concern. But today and tomorrow, I'm going to be focusing on doing the skin cleansing techniques, and that's courtesy of Dr. Kassar with the Earther Academy. And basically, I don't think I've actually done the skin cleansing before, at least not with his techniques. So the idea is that we need to remove a lot more of the dirt and parasites and pus and stuff that's in our pores. You know, like on your face when you get a pimple or a blackhead, that same thing goes on through the whole body. And most people don't take the time to cleanse their skin. Sure, we take showers, but we don't do it as diligently on the rest of our body like we do on our face. You know, people go get facials and they get those little peely things to get all the gunk and stuff out of the pores and whatnot. So the techniques that he's teaching actually incorporates that for the entire body. So, and thus, once you get all that crap out of your pores and things like that, your skin is actually able to breathe better and absorb, you know, air and moisture and nutrients to the point where you're actually able to you know, breathe through your pores basically. So, and that allows the toxins and stuff to be able to exit at will. And also some exercises, because I've been doing some yoga and a little bit of qigong. That's what I normally do anyway in my regular daily schedule. But I want to see some other exercises to change it up because, like I said, I've been bored. So I got to find something else to do to keep me occupied. And it's been great being able to make the videos and tinkering with all the technical stuff with the Streamlabs and getting all that set up so that I can do these live streams, because there's a lot of reading, a lot of tutorials and stuff with that. And I finally got that figured out though. It took me about a week. Whew. And yeah, while I was fasting, so it took a lot out of me. But now that I've gotten all that pretty much figured out, I'm ready to move on to the next thing and put the focus back on myself so that I can continue sharing this experience as I go along. So tomorrow is going to be day 10, and I have already scheduled an event to do a little bit more of a lengthy process because I would like to share more about what's going on. Like I said, I'll be focusing on the exercises and the skin cleansing today. So tomorrow I will share some more information about how that went and what went down. And I believe I have it scheduled at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. So it's not going to be exactly at noon, but at least this way it's scheduled and it's not just a pop-up video kind of like I've been doing. But the reason why I've been doing that is because I'm new to all of this live streaming stuff, and I decided that finally I needed to just go ahead and do it and stop being so concerned about all of the technical stuff, which, as you saw in some of my other videos during the week, you know, I wasn't quite ready all the time, or I had to make some arrangements. But as we know, this is actually living life. It's not all Hollywood land where everything's all cut clean and proper and glam. So this is life, and that's how it's been going. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give an update on how I'm feeling. It's like I said, I'm going. I don't feel necessarily tired or lethargic. I just feel, like I said, I'm just more so bored than anything, because I spend a lot of my time preparing my food and tending to the garden and stuff. So that's kind of what's going on with me, and I feel that that's actually part of what I needed to deal with this cleanse, because maybe I have been spending too much time doing that, but at the same time, it's also, like I said, a way for me to express my creative side. So I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a chef, but if someone was to come to me and offer me a position in the kitchen where I was also helping people, you know, with this type of dieting transition, yeah, I would definitely go for it, as long as there's a garden involved. And that's something I'm working on too, is building up a community of people whom are actually doing just that. So not just the whole farm to table, but an actual lifestyle where the farm to table is the lifestyle. You know, you eat every, and it's not just a pop-up, it's going to be an everyday life. So that's what I'm working on with the SupHerb blends and the SupHerb lifestyle transition course, is to build a community of people and to connect with those people whom are not just necessarily vegan or vegetarian, but this is the next level. Let's take it to the next level, because I feel that a lot of times people go vegan or vegetarian just because they see it as a trendy thing and not because of the actual benefits as far as cleansing the body and keeping it healthy. And I find that to be true because a lot of vegans and vegetarian people, they completely miss the whole cleansing part. And I tell people all the time, if you've never done a cleanse, if you've never cleansed your body or detox, going vegan and vegetarian ain't going to do you no good. All it's going to do is clog up your system even more and make you pissed off that you stopped eating the way you used to eat, because you've still got those all that old toxins and waste in your system that's causing issues with your mental self. So you got to cleanse all that out first before you can make the transition. And as I say, that's what the SupHerb Lifestyle Transition course offers. It offers you with steps from beginning to end. And yeah, no, I don't have 1,000 followers or 1,000,000 followers, but I can surely tell you I've done it several times. And now that I'm becoming more of a master at this, it's become quite easy to share with other people, which is why I decided to share this information now and get it out in the open, because everyone keeps asking me, what have I been doing? But just telling you is a lot different from actually showing you and then explaining to you and sharing the experience. So again, day 9 of the water fast, I'm going to end it with that because I said this was going to be a quick, short update video, and I just wanted to get the details out there. So check in tomorrow with the live stream that I have already scheduled, and we will see you on day 10. This is Lanita SupHerb. You can check out my website at supherbblends.com, SupHerblends.com. And then also you can support me and get some merchandise. I've got merchandise available through streamlabs.com/Lanita SupHerb. The link should be below in the descriptions. But if not, you got streamlabs.com/Lanita SupHerb, just like the YouTube channel name. And you can check out the merch there, and also follow me on Streamlabs, because I will be doing more live events and things there when I get this whole fast deal done and over with, so we can keep moving with the cleansing the body and getting ourselves together so you can see the transformation. Much appreciation. This is Lanita SupHerb. A rose in perfection shines bright.